the Northern meeting in the Argyllshire gathering, famously did not allow female competitors until essentially they were forced to because of the Gender Discrimination Act.
That's right.
1976. Talk about that. You must have been what, about the time when you started playing in senior competition.
I was very fortunate that when the Sex Discrimination Act was passed, I was just turning 18, and I was going into open playing. So I was never on the outside looking in, as some of the other women were. The timing was just right for me. I do remember as a junior sending off entries to Inverness for the junior competitions, and getting a nice letter back saying, no, because of the rules you can't play. But I would keep sending them anyway just to make a point.
And did Nicol ever get involved? Was he particularly opinionated on that, one way or the other?
I don't remember ever speaking to him about that. Actually, no, I don't. And it was really just that one competition as a junior that affected me at that time. Everything else was fine. So it was just really one, but it was an important one, and it would have been nice to have played.
Well, the fact that you kept asking, you must have been a little bit miffed at that. I mean, the fact that you didn't take no for an answer.
I'm trying to remember exactly how I felt. I just thought, well, I'll keep plugging away. I mean, I knew they would say no, but I just did it to make a point, I suppose. But I don't know. I think, I mean, obviously, if the Sex Discrimination Act hadn't come in, and by that time I was 17, 18, 19, I think I would have been starting to get miffed then.
Yeah.
I think I would have maybe been looking at it closer and going, well, this really is affecting me. And it would be interesting to think, well, if the Sex Discrimination Act hadn't been passed, how long would it have taken for anything to happen? Well, we'll never know. But
so in 1976, when you first, I guess it would have been the Argyllshire gathering.
Yes.
You played that.
Yes.
So what was the feeling then? Was it, did you just, okay, we're here, we're playing, or was it a big deal at the time?
For me, this is my first year, or maybe just second year playing, and here I was in. So I don't think I took it for granted, but I just thought, oh, this is good timing for me. But they'd had to wait. So I think for them, they probably thought, at last,
Yeah. And did you feel that there was any kind of additional spotlight on your performance or their performances? Did other people make a fuss over it?
I don't remember them making a fuss, but I do remember thinking, well, okay, we're in this, we've got to put our best foot forward. We've got to try and obviously play well, show that we deserve to be here, and that we can live with the company we're in.
Right.
Yes, I remember thinking, yeah, a bit of pressure with that.
And how did it go?
You probably think you should be able to remember these things, but when you've played at a venue so often, you're trying to remember all the different.
I guess it would be before the silver medal at that point.
Yes, that's right.
So
That's
right
right.
into the gold medal.
Yes, that's right.
With
Before the grading.
50-something people in it.
Yes, well that's right, and Inverness as well. I mean, you played well into the evening. There was just so many people in it, but no, it was a really good feeling. It was good, but you knew you had a responsibility to, play as well as you could, just to to be able to live with your fellow competitors.
What about you came pretty close to picking off one of the medals. I think you featured in the prize list.
For a couple of years,
Yeah.
I had a couple of prizes. Yeah, it was good.
Did you ever feel you didn't get what you deserved, or was there anything like that ever?
No, I don't remember feeling like that. I think I had plenty of chances, and I think the gold medal has this thing about it. Sometimes if you want it really badly, it can actually be just drifting away from you. You could be trying too hard. And I think that's true today. I think, you know, a lot of people who would normally play really great tunes, when it comes to the medal time, there's this thing, you know, you get 2 chances a year, this is it. And I think it's the people who can keep their nerve that prevail.
Yeah. And a lot was going on at that time too, where you were getting overseas competitors coming in, and we talked about, you know, the 50 odd people that entered the gold medal, and the Competing Pipers Association started up at that time, and there's the silver medal starting, and it seemed like a real turning point.
It was.
For solo piping in Scotland.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, apart from trying to control the numbers, it was controlling the quality as well. And you could see a format of going from one section to the next. You could see the aims and objectives. You could see, well, okay, silver medal, and then qualify for that, and then move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And it was a good structure. It gave it structure, whereas before it was, you know, a bit of a bun fight.
And were you involved with the Competing Pipers, the formation of that at all?
Not so, well,
I think Murray was.
Not so much the formation. Well, I mean, obviously we joined as members, but it was later that all the, you know, we got into. I think I was treasurer at one stage, and obviously Murray was president, but that was much later. But it was good to have a group formed like that so it would just be able to make changes and move forward.
Yeah, and so now we're kind of early 80s, and you've come to the United States. You've been doing a little bit of teaching, I think, some workshops, and then you decided to move to the US.
Yes, it was one of these things. We had the opportunity through Matt and Pearl McConnell, who had Highland Heritage, and they were glad to sponsor us. So we thought, well, you know, we were young, and we thought, well, let's give it a go. It's travel and see something different, have different experiences. So we thought, right, we'll do that, and we did. And
did you feel like you're experiencing the challenge of the North American piper, trying to, you know, keep a presence in Scotland and the circuit there, or you know, considering that you personally were, you know, you're on the brink of a lot of great stuff, and to keep that up, and then suddenly you're in the US and you've got a sort of different lifestyle.
Yes, it was a different lifestyle, but we came home every summer for the competitions, so it wasn't a case of being away out of the scene. So it was a bit like doing the competition circuit, well, to a lesser extent, but all the bigger competitions, and then going back to live in America for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
But we were there for about 2.5 years, and thoroughly enjoyed it. But it was, by that time, it was time to come home, and I think sometimes you have to be away to realise how much you value your home country, and come back, and we're happy to come back.
You've done quite a bit of solo piping adjudication around the world now. Do you enjoy judging?
I do, and in some ways it does feel a bit like my competing days. It does feel like a bit of a challenge, because it's a huge responsibility. When I was approached to apply for the judging list, I thought long and hard about it, and I thought, you know, this will be challenging in many ways, and you have to develop as a judge. You don't go in as a fully fledged. I don't think it matters what kind of piping career you've had. When you start judging, you're learning all the time, and only by doing it do you find better ways of doing it, more efficient ways of doing it, and you develop your own routine and ways of going about things. And you can only do that by doing it, and gaining the experience. But it's been challenging but enjoyable, and you go out there and you just try and do the best job you can.
You've judged a little bit in places where you have to write a score sheet and give back written accountability sort of for your result. Which method do you prefer? Well, the UK is still evolving, it seems like, in that department. Do you like the delivery of a score sheet at the end of the day to each competitor?
I think it's important for them. I don't think I've judged at many competitions that I haven't written a score sheet. I think it's important for the competitors to get the feedback. You sometimes hope that maybe, especially with the lower grades, that you hope that what you've said might help them and they'll take it on board, and then the next time you hear them you'd like to hear maybe some of the differences that they've maybe employed, some of the things that you've said. You'd like to hope that would have a knock-on effect. But I think it is important, and I think there is a degree of accountability when you're a judge. They want to know where you're coming from and work out your likes and dislikes, I suppose. Maybe try to get to know what makes you tick. But yeah, it's not always easy. You're multitasking. You're trying to listen. You're maybe trying to get down something you're thinking about at the time, and you're still trying to, if it's a tune that needs constant looking at the book, a complex tune, you're still trying to make sure that you're not going to miss anything in that department, and that's the challenge. It's all the multitasking, but at the end of the day to come up with the best job that you can do, because you owe it to them.
Do you think it, in reality, do you think it'll happen in the UK? That accreditation process, whether it's, seminars put on by experienced judges and then a testing and training kind of
I'm not sure
method?
about the testing and training.
Yeah.
I think there'd be probably a little bit more relaxed about, probably maybe seminars. I think would be a good idea to talk about, so they, all their different opinions and different ways of going about things and certain issues that they've come up against, things like that. I think that would be valuable. I'm not sure if they would go down the road of actual testing.